We'll get situated in a comfortable seat. As always, that could be on your sits bones, it could be on your shins, whatever's most comfortable for you today. We'll start with palms down to start to move into that grounded energy. So we can start to bring it down a little bit, deepen down into the earth. And then only if it's comfortable, invitation to let your eyes close down. And let's start with a cleansing breath in through your nose. And out with a big sigh. And twice more like this. Inhale through your nose. Exhale with a sigh. Last round here, inhale. And exhale. Allow your lips to close and bring your breath in through your nostrils. Seeing if as you inhale, you can imagine your breath moving into your low belly, belly expands. And as you exhale, let your belly soften as your breath moves back up and out through your nose. Bringing it down into more of a diaphragmatic breath. As you inhale, breathe in, belly expands. As you exhale, belly softens and your breath moves back up and out through your nose. And take a few more at your pace. Inhale to feel your belly move out. And exhale to soften. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do 2 more at your own rhythm. Once you've finished your second round of belly breathing, invitation to connect your palms towards your heart space. You might even bring them onto your heart space. And taking a moment to connect in with your body, your breath, and also your intention or your outward dedication for today. And take another deep breath in through your nose. Once more, perhaps a sigh out through your mouth. If your palms are lifted when you feel ready, release your palms back down towards your legs. If your eyes are closed, always the option to keep them there. You could start to open the lids of your eyes. And so let's start at the crown of the head and we'll work our way all the way down today. Take a moment, and when you're ready, drop your chin towards your chest. You can start to elongate the backside of your neck. And then bring a little awareness to your belly once more. Think of drawing your low abdominals and navel slightly in and up. So there's contraction of your core space to help support your low back. And then option to keep your chin down towards your chest, or you might start to roll one ear towards one shoulder. It doesn't matter which way you want to go. And then gently start to bring your chin back down towards your chest and take your opposite ear towards your opposite shoulder. So you might go really slow. I'm just noticing a lot of sensation as I do this, so I'm moving really slow. You're welcome to go faster. And slowly draw these half circles, noticing what's going on the backside of your neck. This might translate all the way down into your shoulders, your upper back. And then if you find a place that's extra sensation rich, option to stay there, get curious about it, maybe breathe into that space a little bit. The next time your chin drops down through center, allow it to stay there for a moment. Lift as if you could lift from the backside of your skull all the way back up to a neutral spine, neutral neck. Start to take your gaze over to the left. And then bring your gaze back to center. And gently take your gaze over to the right. And back to center. We'll do that one more time. Shift your gaze over to the left, being mindful of your neck spine. Back to center. Shift your gaze over to the right. And back to center. Nice. Release both of your fingertips down towards the floor. Drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. And then option to stay here, or you can take your right hand on top of your head to add a little extra weight. Keep your left fingertips reaching down towards the floor or a block. And then notice where you feel this in your neck, but also your shoulder, your arm, maybe all the way down into your forearm and fingertips. If at any point the hand on your head gets to be too much weight, just know you can always drop that down as well. And take a deep breath in. And a breath out. One more here, giving your body time to respond to the shape. If you have your hand on your head, first release your hand. And then imagine you can lift up from the left side of your head, bringing your neck and head back to neutral, and then take a moment of pause here. Start to drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. And then maybe you take your left hand over to the side of your head once more. Keep reaching your right fingertips down to the floor or a block. And then breathe into what shows up on this side. Once more, if your hand is on your head, very gently restart to release. Bring your head back up to neutral. Take a moment, allowing your neck and your spine to find a more centered position. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up and overhead. Interlace your fingers. Take a little bend to your elbow and then flip so your palms are up with that interlace. Yep. Take a big inhale to reach. Arms may or may not straighten. And as you exhale, contract your navel, roll forward so your palms are about shoulder height. And then as you inhale, press your sits bones down, lift your arms back up. Gaze can be forward, or maybe you look up this time. Twice more like that. Exhale, contract your belly, roll forward, find a lot of space in your back body. Inhale, sits bones to the floor, lift up, option to shift your gaze up. One more time, exhale, roll forward. Inhale, lift. Release the bind of your fingers, reach your arms wide all the way back to the floor, left and right side of you. Once your fingers find the floor, take a couple rolls back with your shoulders. And a couple rolls forward. Okay, fingertips back down to the earth. Inhale, sweep just your left arm up and overhead, and then take a lateral stretch over to the right. Left sits bones down, left fingertips reach. So you're getting a lot of space in that left side body. Take a big breath in and out. Let's stay here for 2 more. And last one. Inhale your left arm all the way up. Bring both of your hands back down to the ground. Take a moment of pause, letting your spine come to neutral. Inhale, sweep both of your arms up and overhead. We're going to move towards a rotation. So start to twist to the left hand behind you, right arm in front of you. Push down to what's beneath you, lift up. Maybe you find that belly contraction again. And as you exhale, maintain or deepen into your twist. Exploring this rotation for 3 more breath cycles. And then notice with your gaze, I'm laughing at the head, shoulders, knees, and toes in my head, because we're turning, like using that gaze to shift the shape. And take another breath in. And a breath out. Begin to release your back left arm. Take your left bicep over your right bicep for the crisscross, and then bend into your elbows. Find your eagle wrap, either single or double bind. Yep. Press your elbows forward and up. Option to stay right here, really sending your breath to your upper back, or you might take some circles to the left. If you're circling, they can be big circles, they can be little circles, but imagine you're drawing the circle with your elbows and kind of exploring what's going on in your shoulders, your back body, space between your scapula. And the whole time noticing your breath as you move. All right, so if you're taking circles, eventually start to make your way back to center. As you inhale, unravel your arms to a big T. Really think of reaching through your fingertips. As you exhale, fingers find the floor once more. Option to switch up your feet. So if you're in a crisscross position, you want to put your opposite foot in front, go ahead and do so. Shift that base a little bit, and then bring your fingers back down to the ground. As you inhale, take your right arm up, start to move towards the left. So you're moving towards your lateral stretch on this side. Again, think of drawing your hip down just as much as you reach up, really sending some space for your breath to move in that right side body. We'll maintain here for 2 more. And last one. On your inhale, sweep your top arm all the way up, come back to center, both fingertips to the floor, spine at neutral. Breath in and out. Inhale, both of your arms all the way up and overhead, this time twisting to the right. Right arm somewhere behind you, left hand finds your leg, and then push down, lift up, find that belly strength. Maintain here, or as you exhale, continue to rotate, maybe starting to shift your gaze as well. Deep breath in. And a deep breath out. 2 more. Release your back, right arm. Take your right bicep over your left bicep, and then bend into your elbows. Find your eagle wrap on this side. And press your elbows forward and up. And again, option to stay here, breathe into your shoulder space, or you might circle a few times over to the right, drawing big or little circles depending on what is needed on this side. And then bring yourself back to center. Last time here, inhale, unravel your arms to a T, palms face forward, spread through your fingers. And exhale, release. A couple rolls back out through shoulders. And a couple rolls forward. Okay, let's transition down into hamstrings and hips a bit. So actually, I'm going to stay forward for a moment. Let's do Baddha Konasana first, since we're already in this crisscross shape. So soles of your feet come together, knees drop out wide. And then as always, heels can be in, heels can be out. It can change the sensation of the shape depending on what you're looking for today. Hands to your feet, lift up through your torso, let your shoulders move away from your ears, stay upright, or when you're ready, exhale, start to hinge at your hip points, dropping your gaze down, maybe dropping your head down. So up to you if you want to get into the spine more in flexion and letting your back find a bit of a rounding. Maybe you walk your hands out nice and wide and you lift up a little bit. That's going to be a little more spinal extension. So just checking in and seeing what feels more appropriate for your practice today. And then once you find your torso and spine in a place that's comfortable, bring your awareness into your legs. Notice the outer lines of your hips, the inner lines of your thighs. And then notice where the sensation is and send your breath to those places. Wherever you are, 2 more full cycles of breath. And start to walk yourself all the way back in, eventually bringing yourself to a tall spine. And then draw your knees in towards one another. And we'll start with the right leg out long, sole of your left foot onto the inside line. A slight rotation towards your extended right leg, draw back on your toes, lift up through your torso. And then again, when you're ready, start to hinge forward, folding over your extended right leg. Again, play around with what feels best for you. If it's more spinal extension or flexion, it might be somewhere in between. We'll take 4 more cycles of breath here, bringing your awareness into your right leg. After your 4th exhalation, start to walk yourself back up. Rotate to the front with your torso. And today we'll simply switch sides. You can take your left leg long, bring the sole of your right foot towards the inside line as your knee drops down. Nice. Rotate over to the left, draw back on those left toes, inhale. Exhale, take the fold. And then bring your awareness again into your extended left leg and breathe. Nice. And 2 more full breath cycles here. And start to bring yourself all the way back up towards neutral, torso to the front. This time, both legs out long, preparing for Paschimottanasana. Feet are about as wide as your hips. You can play around with moving the flesh from underneath your sits bones. Draw your toes back, look up, lengthen. Maybe a soft bend to your knees here, and then up to you how you want to fold. Again, finding that rounding, really dropping in. You might find more of an extension. And notice how when you move your upper body, your torso, that might translate into different sensation into your lower body. So taking your time to explore, and then 4 cycles of breath in whatever you decide to stay with. Walk yourself all the way back up towards center. Bend into your knees, soles of your feet to the floor. And then if you're on a blanket, go ahead, slide off of your blanket and set that off to the side. Hands to the backs of your thighs, come up onto your tippy toes, shoulders roll up and back, look forward, stay here as you start to draw your navel in and up. Maybe you lean back, taking a supported Navasana. Maybe you extend your hands out wide. So again, up to you where you want to go with this. Think of engaging through your core space. Find that strength for a big breath in. And a breath out. Nice. One more here. Inhale. Yes. As you exhale, release your feet back down to the ground. Walk your feet about a footprint forward, take them as wide as your mat, and then hands either reach to your sides or somewhere behind you. Lift up through your heart space, stay at neutral or take some windshield wipers. Option to shift your gaze in the opposite direction of your knees. And again, this might be faster or slower than I'm going, so take the pace that feels best for you. And slowly start to bring your knees back towards center. Crisscross or sweep your feet to the side. We'll all meet in a tabletop position. I'm going to take my blanket underneath my knees for a bit of extra cushion and support, especially once we get into our low lunges. So take your time to set up. As you find yourself in tabletop, plug into your foundation, slightly engage through your core space. And when you feel ready, tailbone back, gaze forward, look for that extension. On the exhalation, draw your navel in as you start to round into your flexion. Gaze could be back between your knees. You might look back somewhere between your feet. We'll take 3 more like that. Move with your breath. Inhale to find extension and length. Exhale to press down and find the rounding. And twice more. Inhale. Exhale. And last one here. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to round. And come back to a neutral spine. Go ahead and take your left arm out to the side about shoulder height, palm will face down. Nice. Take a breath into prep. And as you exhale, we're going to thread the needle, but not all the way yet. We're going to keep it in the core. So reach over to the right, engage your abdominals as if you're looking to grab something over that right side. And then inhale back to center, left arm to about shoulder height. Yep, twice more like that. Exhale, use your strength to turn to the right, reach underneath that left arm, and then inhale back to center. Nice. This time we're going to really go for it. So as you reach over, thread the needle, come down onto your left shoulder, side of your head to the floor or a block. Tent your right fingertips underneath your elbow. Stay here. Always the option to walk your right fingertips forward. And then think of drawing your sits bones back. So there's some lengthening. Bring your breath into that space between your shoulder blades. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Inhale. Exhale. One more here, breathing into your rotation, breathing into the backs of your shoulders. Now, as you're ready, if that right arm is forward, first bring your hand back so you've got a firm foundation underneath you. Press down to your right hand to help unravel. Left arm either comes to shoulder height or invitation to take a counter twist as you start to reach your hand towards the ceiling. When you're ready, exhale, release your left hand down to the floor. Both of your hands underneath your shoulders, hips stack over your knees, and take a moment with a neutral spine, neutral hip position. Deep breath in. And out. Swapping sides, take your right arm out to the side, palm faces down. Inhale. Nice. Exhale, reach over to the left, but we're going to keep it lifted so you're tapping into that core strength. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, reach over to the left. Inhale, center. This time we're going for it. Exhale, thread the needle, come down onto your right shoulder, side of your head to the floor or a block. Left fingertips tent underneath your elbow, or again, you may choose to take your hand forward. Just because you did something on one side doesn't mean you have to do it on this side. So notice what your body needs here. And 3 cycles of breath. If your left arm is forward, begin by bringing your left hand back underneath your elbow, more or less. Actively press down to help unravel your right arm, either towards parallel, or you might take your right arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring both of your hands underneath your shoulders, stack your hips over your knees. And again, as you inhale, drop your belly, look forward for your cow. Exhale, push down as you round into your spine for your cat. We'll take 2 more. Really let your breath guide you here. Inhale. And exhale. Last cycle here. Come back to neutral. Keep your hip points nice and high. Walk your palms forward. You can be shoulder width. You might be even wider. I'm going to go about as wide as my yoga mat, maybe slightly wider. And then forehead towards the block or the floor, Anahatasana. Slightly draw in on your belly. Send your hip points back. So really looking for that extension. Breathing into your underarms, the backs of your shoulders. Allowing your heart to melt down. Take a deep breath in. And out. And twice more. And last breath. Press down to your palms, start to look up, and then look to the front of your mat and shift your hips forward so you can come all the way down onto your belly. Slide your hands back underneath your shoulders, elbows will draw in. Nice. And then always that option to lift and lengthen your legs if you find that helpful. Tops of your feet press down to the floor, hip points press down to the floor. You might even feel your low belly engage and lift. And then press your palms down and back as you lift your gaze forward, baby cobra, really starting to cultivate your back body strength. And as you exhale, bring your forehead back down to the floor. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to forehead to the floor. One more time. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to the floor. Press down through your palms, tuck your toes underneath. Take a moment to prep your inhale. And as you're ready, exhale, push yourself back up towards your tabletop and readjust your foundation. Walk your palms about a handprint forward, tuck your toes underneath, prepping for downward facing dog. When you're ready, start to send your hips up and back. Let your heart melt down, not on the Anahatasana we just took. And then stay here and breathe in your stillness, or you can start to explore some movement. Slowly bend into both of your knees, look forward, walk yourself to the very front of your mat, Uttanasana, forward fold. As you inhale, take your hands up to your shins for your half lift. Stay here, walk your hands to your hips, bend your knees, and then use the strength of your legs to rise all the way up, Tadasana, mountain pose. Nice. Standing. Shift the weight into your feet, forward and back, left and right, so you can feel like both feet are fully connected to the floor. And then again, getting into a little bit into the IT, a little bit into the side body. Inhale your arms up and overhead. Grab onto your left wrist or forearm, find some extension. And when you're ready, take a side bend over to the right. Keep plugging your feet down, inhale. Maintain on the exhale. Inhale your arms up and overhead. Reverse your grip, grab onto that right arm. Exhale over to the left. Nice. Take a deep breath in. Maintain on your breath out. Inhale all the way to center. Now, as you exhale, a couple options. You can interlace your hands behind you. So you might take a little interlace, bend to your elbows, roll your shoulders up and back, and eventually palms can reach towards the floor. You might choose to bring your hands to your low back, fingertips down, elbows draw in towards one another. Plug down into your feet, lift up through your heart space either way. Take a deep breath in. Maintain here on your breath out. Release your hands, inhale, arms back up and overhead. Soft bend to your knees. And as you exhale, twist to the right. So your right arm will reach behind you, left arm will reach in front of you. Gaze can be to the side or to the back. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, twist to the left, left arm back, right arm forward. Let your hips move with you. Inhale to center. One more time each side. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left. Nice. Inhale, center. Bend to your knees once more. Arms reach wide, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale to your half lift. As you exhale, place your hands to the floor or block. Step your right foot all the way back. Drop your right knee to the floor. Tuck or untuck your back toes. Walk up onto your front left thigh. And then options here, you might walk your left foot forward a little bit and let your knee catch up. So that's going to be a deeper lunge. That's going to get into the hip flexor a bit more on that right side. Push your palms into your left leg, lift up through your torso. Option to stay right here. You might choose to hook your thumbs, spread through your fingers, lift your arms up and overhead. If you're taking the thumb hook, imagine you can kind of spread your hands apart. So you're starting to activate your upper body. And just as much as you reach up, imagine that bottom knee can drop down. So you're creating the C curve in your front body. Take a big breath in. Nice. Maintain on the breath out. One more inhale. As you exhale, if you're reaching back, think of sending your hips back, sending your arms forward. So you're kind of hinging. Release both of your hands down to the ground. Keep your right hand to the floor or a block. As you inhale, lift your left arm up, finding your twist. Option to stay here with your back knee down. Always the invitation to tuck your back toes. Maybe you lift your right knee if that feels appropriate. Take a deep breath in. and out. One more inhale. As you exhale, release your left arm forward and down. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, pivot to the long edge of your mat. Toes forward, heels back. You might perform more of a pigeon toe with toes in, heels out. And for this first round, let's take a more traditional. So you can lift up to your half lift. As you exhale, contract your belly button. So let your belly help you fold forward. Hands can be on the floor or blocks. Fingertips line up with your toes. You might grab your ankles. So lots of options here. Deep breath in. And then just as we did standing, kind of play around, notice where the weight is in your feet. Is it forward or back? And see if more or less, you can find equal weight distribution. Push to your palms, walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. So you're taking a half lift from this wide leg position. And then keep turning to the back of your mat. So you're going to pivot on your toes, turn to the back of your mat. So now your right foot's in front. Drop your back left knee, tuck or untuck those back toes, and then walk up onto your front right thigh. Nice. So same options here. You might walk your foot forward slightly and then send your knee forward to catch up. So you're really creating some space in that left front hip flexor. Push into your front thigh, start to extend your elbows, lift and lengthen. You might stay here. Option to hook your thumbs again, sweep your arms forward and up. And then you can reach straight up, you might reach back. So play around. Notice what happens when you lean back to the front of your body. So just playing that space. Take a deep breath in. Nice deep breath out. One more inhale. As you exhale, move in two directions. So hips go back, arms go forward if they were up. Release your hands down to the floor or blocks. Left hand stays to the ground. Right arm will reach up for the twist. Stay here and breathe. Maybe you tuck those back toes. You can lift the back knee, again, only if it feels appropriate. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more inhale. Exhale, release your top arm down, to frame that front foot. Tuck your back left toes, lift your knee, pivot to the long edge of your mat again. A little different this time. Turn your heels in, turn your toes out. Bend into both of your knees deeply so you're taking a squat position, and then walk your hands up onto your thighs so we're heading in the direction of goddess. Nice. Nice bend into both of your knees. Go ahead, cactus through your arms. As you inhale, straighten your legs, straighten your arms so you're moving out into that star shape. Yes. And then exhale, bend your knees, bend your elbows back to your goddess. Yes. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. One more. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Inhale, extend. Keep your arms up. Pivot your left toe to the front. Shift your right foot back to about 45. And then bend into your front knee so you're opening up to your warrior two. Nice. Shift your gaze forward or keep it to the side. Take a deep breath in. Maintain on your breath out. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath here. As you inhale, straighten your front leg, bring your hands to your hips, pivot on your toes so you're facing the opposite direction. When you're ready, bend into what is now your front knee. Reach your arms out wide so you're taking your warrior two to the opposite side. Yes, nice. Again, soften your shoulders, send your gaze either forward or to the side. Deep breath in. And a breath out. 2 more. And last one. As you inhale, straighten your front leg, hands to your hips. Pivot on your toes so you can heel toe your feet together a little bit, and then step to whatever the front of your mat is at this point. Tadasana mountain pose. Nice. Another soft bend to your knees. Inhale, take your arms up and overhead. Let's twist before we fold. Twist to the right, right arm back, left arm forward. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, center. Deep bend to your knees, arms reach wide, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift hands to the floor, shins or blocks. Exhale, palms to the ground, step one foot back, then the other, high plank. Drop down to hands and knees, and then any way you want to get there, we're going to come down to the floor lying on our backs. So if you have a blanket, you might want to move that to the side. Once you find yourself on your back, keep your knees bent, soles of your feet on the earth. Let your arms rest down by your sides, palms face up. And take a breath in. And a big sigh out. Let's get into our figure four. So we'll start with a left ankle to the right thigh. And then you know all the options. Yeah, so option to send that left knee forward. Stay here. You might hug your right knee in. You might send your right heel to the ceiling. And take another full breath in. And a full breath out. If your right foot is lifted, take your time, return your right foot to the ground. Send your left leg all the way up to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, release your left leg all the way down to the ground so your leg is extended. And then draw your right knee in towards your chest. Take an inhale. Exhale, engage your core, lift your left leg, lift head, neck, and shoulders, and then swap. So getting into your core again. And hug the right knee in, extend the left leg. So yeah, you can always do this with straight legs too if you want to do a bicycle, but keeping your awareness in your core for another 3, 2, and 1. Hug both of your knees in towards your chest, head back down to the floor, stay at neutral, and maybe use side to side rock or circle onto your low back. And slowly start to bring yourself back to center. Again, return both of your feet to the floor, knees are bent, feet are about hip width distance apart, and take a breath at pause. Maybe a sigh out through your mouth. And taking your figure 4 to the opposite side, right ankle towards left thigh. Again, all the options. Maybe that left knee goes forward. Or excuse me, right knee goes forward. Left knee can hug in, left heel to the ceiling. Wherever you decide to go, take 3 more full cycles of breath. Release your left foot to the floor if you have it lifted. As you inhale, send your right heel all the way back up. Big extension here. Nice. And then exhale, take your time to release your right leg all the way down to the earth. Nice. Once your right leg finds the floor, hug your left knee back into your chest. Take a breath to prep. As you exhale, belly button to the mat, head lifts, right knee lifts. And again, find those swaps. So hugging one knee in as you extend the other, tapping into your core. You might choose to do this with legs extended, more of a scissor kick variation. Nice. Tap into your strength for 5, 4, 3, yes, 2, and 1. Both of your knees hug in towards your chest, head to the floor, and second round of either stillness, rocking, or circles in your low back. And start to bring your knees back to center, release your feet down to the floor. So up to you, we're going to take a reclined twist. Depends on what you need, what you want. If you want to take a stack knee, you can push your feet to the floor, maybe scoot your hips a smidge to the left. Bring your knees into about 90, arms reach wide to a T or a cactus, palms face up. And when you're ready, let your knees drop over to the right, finding blankets, blocks, the floor. Now, if you want to get a little bit more into that left hip, you might take more of an eagle wrap in your legs with your left knee on top of your right knee. That right foot's going to be to the floor, and you can drop your wrapped legs over to the right. So just know that's going to give you a different sensation. And then, of course, if there's any other twist that you prefer here, please give yourself the time and space to get into that one. And we'll stay for 4 cycles. If your gaze is over to the left, start by bringing your gaze back to the ceiling. When you're ready, slowly start to bring yourself back to center, and that might look different for everyone. Return your feet to the floor, square off through your hips if they're off-centered, and then take a moment here at pause and at neutral. Okay, let's take it to the other side. Push to your feet, maybe a little bit of a scooch to the right. If you're taking stack knee, both of your knees will stack about over your hips, and then drop your knees over to the left. Again, they might find the floor, a couple blankets, some blocks. If you're taking your eagle wrap on this side, this time will be your right leg atop your left leg, and you can drop over to the left. So again, find out what feels best for you. And breathe. Once more, if your gaze is turned, bring your gaze back to neutral. Eventually start to bring your legs back to neutral as well. Your feet can find the floor again. Hips come to more of a squared off position. And deep breath in at pause. And a deep breath out. At this point, you might be ready for your integration and your rest. That might look like constructive rest. It might look like Shavasana or a seated meditation. Conversely, if you would like to continue to move, I'll keep track of time for the next 2 minutes. And you can take whatever movement you'd like. I'll give you the halfway mark in case you're doing any asymmetrical work as well. And we're coming up to the close of our first minute. If you are doing opposite sides, take your time to transition to the opposite side. And we're about to close out our second minute. Eventually, when you feel ready and when you feel complete, you begin to transition into your resting shape, your space of integration. And perhaps you take one more deep breath in through your nose and a big breath out through your mouth. Let it go. Giving yourself these next few moments of rest, of stillness, and then allowing your body to be supported by the earth beneath you. Slowly begin to bring your awareness back into your breath body. And perhaps deepening your inhales and exhales. Eventually allow this awareness to move into your physical body. Gently reawakening whatever that looks like for you today. And once more, expand your awareness into your surroundings, noticing sounds, smells. Might be how the light is coming in through the window if you open your eyes. And if you choose, slowly returning to an upright seat. Once more, invitation to connect your palms together at your heart space or on your energetic heart space itself. And thank you for moving through your breath, through your body, through your practice, and doing so in a space together, and sharing in community together, and our exploration together. Namaste.